First of all, thank you for coming to our demo. I'm Ray, one of the team leads for the this Mooc project. We also have another team lead, Leon. Next page, please. Our team has two BA/developers, Kyla and Oni, and we also have other developers who are David, Sharon, Freya, Nico, and Kai. Kyla and Oni not only helped define and write down the business requirements and technical requirements, and design the apps in Confluence, but also made huge contributions to the development of their own feature demo. In this project, we've been following an agile methodology. Next page, please. So each week, we hold around 3 stand-ups to share updates, discuss bloggers, solve problems, and talk about technical issues. We are currently working across epics, including full stack development, testing, and DevOps tasks. As you can see here, for the first 2 weeks from beginning of this project is onboarding time. But now we are currently at Sprint 6. In this, next page, please. In this project, we aiming for high standard. So we set up rules such as using Git workflow, different environment, ESLint and Prettier for auto code formatting, constantly refactoring our code to improve quality. And our API is almost done at this moment, and we are focused on the unit testing and integration testing. Our goal is to achieve at least 80% of test coverage. So this project is about role-based Mooc system designed to help universities manage course user and course content. So user from university like teacher and admin or even student can manage or access the learning materials through the role they got signed from our super admin. Now I'd like to hand it over to Leon, who will give everyone a more detailed introduction.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ray. And you can present the slide sheet, and I'm going to talk about the authentication part. So in this Mooc system, we pretty much the similar as the last Mooc design, and we use the React and MUI and design library and Reduct and Formic to YAP to form validation and access to access the API at the backend, and the basic React router functions to load the different pages. So let's go to the next one. And in the backend, we adopted the very popular Express and Node.js framework and Sequenless to operate the database and Express validator and async errors to handle the errors, and Winston to for the logging system. And next page. And in the systems role, as Ray has already introduced, we have authentication and RBAC system. Different role has different permission on a different page. Regarding the course management, we have the course category and course instance management and session and media management and course offer and course notification, which will be presented in the following sections by each of our staff members, developer. Okay, next page is the authentication part. Unlike the previous design, this time we design a system to save two tokens in the cookies. This will benefit to avoid the JavaScript to read the token directly from the local storage. So JW token is saved in the session, as you can see in the picture. And also we generated the XSRF token and send it to the front end. This part has not been fully implemented, but we will do it in the later. Next page. Yeah, this is a coding example of the front end to set the XRF token in the request. And this is the backend. To every we have the middleware to verify the validation of the token. If the token was not validated, the request will be blocked. And this is the backend to verify the XSRF, and we will compare the token from the cookie and compare the token from the HTTP header. If both are same, we will let the traffic go through. Okay, so next part, I'll hand over to the next presenters.
Thanks, Leon. Let me give a quick overview of the database structure for our role-based access control. This is our ER diagram. First, we have a user table that stores basic user information, such as username, email, and password hash. Each user can be linked to one or more roles through the user role table, which means there is a many-to-many relationship between users and roles. The role table defines different roles in the system, like admin or student. Each role is associated with several permissions through the role menu table. This, again, is a many-to-many relationship that links roles to items in the menu table. The menu table defines all accessible features or endpoints in the system. It includes fields like permission strings, root paths, and component paths, which are useful for both front-end rendering and back-end authorization. Next page, please. Next, I'm going to briefly explain the role section of our RBAC system. First of all, the role module itself is independent and provides create, read, update, and delete operations, which is different from the previous Mooc team, whose role is hard-coded. To achieve this, we create a super admin role that has the permission to perform these actions. Roles can be assigned to users, and roles determines users' access level within our system. When users access our APIs, we need to know their identities and roles to tell if they have the right permissions. To handle this, I've implemented a middleware called setUserFromToken. This middleware gets the user ID from the JWT token. Use that ID to query the user role table, retrieves the user's role, and then attaches these roles to the request object. This allows our backend function to easily verify permissions and control access on each user's roles. That's all for my part. Next, I'll hand it over to Kayla.
Thanks, Freya. I'm Kayla. I'm responsible for designing the dynamic menu system. The menu items need to be generated based on the login user's roles and permissions. And also each roles will have a list of accessible menu items. The super admin can assign permissions to different roles with checkbox. Next page, please. Yep, so on this part, I would like to mainly talk about the design process of the menu table, because you can see at our first design, it's a more traditional one. So we link the row to permissions and then link to the menu table. But this one is the query chain is a bit longer and it's more complex to process. So later we come up with the current design. Just two tables, row table and menu table, and inside the menu table there will be include the permission list. So here is an example of our menu table. You could see that each menu or button is a separate record in the menu table. So when the user log in, so the front end will send the login information to the backend and check the credentials and return token. And the backend would get a user's roles and link to the menus and finally return the allow menus and buttons. So the front end will build the side menu and also show the buttons based on the return data. So that's all for my part. So the next part would be the course management.
Thanks, Kayla. I'm here again on behalf of Nico to demonstrate our category management system, a centralized tab designed to make organizing and managing course content effortless. It's built with intuitive controls to help administrator and instructors streamline their workflow. Let's dive in and take a look at the core features. Next page, please. At the heart of our system is the category tree structure. We have a hierarchical view of all categories. This supports parent-child relationships, making it easy to structure content logically. For example, under programming, you can have step categories like web development or mobile development. You can also expand or collapse any branches in the tree to focus only on the section you need. We also have a quick access panel. This provides shortcuts to essential areas such as manager, course, and documentation. We also integrate a calendar to help with scheduling and time-sensitive tasks, or easily accessible in one place. Next page, please. Next, let's talk about how you can quickly find what you need. We've implemented 2 dynamic search bars, allowing users to look for a specific category. In addition, we offer multi-criteria sorting to help refine results further. You can sort by latest, popular, or oldest, depending on what's most relevant to you. This ensures that navigating through a large volume of categories remain efficient and user-friendly. That's all for my part. Thanks.
Thanks, Freya. For the course part, I would like to introduce the relationships and the data management. Courses are connected to multiple categories, and each course can have several instances. Think of them as scheduled offerings of the same course. Transactions help us ensure no 2 course instances overlap and manage connections to sessions smoothly. Next page. And next, for the session part, I would like to introduce how we handle the ordering logic in the course session module. Our goal is to enable drag and drop sorting of sessions and persist the updated order into the database. Users can directly drag sessions on the front end to adjust their sequence, which is much more efficient than manually inputting order values. Here is the flow chart of our process. There are 5 main steps. The process starts when a user drags a session to a new position, and the front end generates a new list representing the updated order. And then a post request is sent to the session's reorder endpoint with this list. And then the backend processes the request and batch updates the order field of each session. Finally, the front-end requests for the latest sort data. Next page, please. On the database level, we have added a composite unique constraints on course instance ID and order in this session table to ensure that the order of sessions is unique within the same course. Next. On the front end, we will implement the draggable list of sessions. When the user drags and repositions a session, we generate a new order array based on the current list, like this. This array is then sent to the backend through a reorder API. Next page. On the backend side, we have created dedicated reorder endpoint to receive the new order array. In the service layer, we use the promise.all to batch update the order field. However, there is a potential issue here. Directly updating the orders might trigger a unique constraints violation due to the composite index. To handle this, we wrap the updates in a transaction and use a temporary order value like offset by 10,000 to break the uniqueness constraint before applying the final values, ensuring the process is atomic and safe. Finally, for refreshing data on the front end, we use React query method to refetch the session list after a successful reorder. This helps us avoid any mismatch between the client and the database states. That's all my part. Let's move on David's course launch.
Yeah, let's move on to our course offering dashboard. There's a few key features up there. First one will be the calendar integrated view, which offers link to the time period with start and end date. In the future version, they can be integrated with the calendar panel and visualize scheduling. The second will be course information card, which card displays the course title, instructor, time range, and studies. Just like the category dashboard, user can click the menu item icon to add it and delete the offering. Third one will be the offering creation flow. User can click the add new offering button to open the form. This form including fields like course instance, study, and the instructor, something like that. Also, we come up with the backend validation to avoid the schedule conflicts. Upon successful creation, the offering card can upgrade instantly with updating the UI style. Last but not least will be the sorting and filters. User can sort offering by start time, course name, or instructor. Combine the filters, make it easier to navigate them by the category or instructor. Next will be the course notification panel. Course notification UI, which allows the admin to post and manage important update related to the course or the offering. There's a few highlights. First will be the notification card. Each notification shows the title, message preview, target course, or the offering. They are grouped by the time and can be explained to show the full contents if you click them. Second will be the audience target. Admin can choose whether to send notification to all students or teachers, specific category, or just the course offering. This ensures the messages are relevant or reduce unnecessary noise for users. Third would be the add new notification flow. There is another button for user to create, and admin can compose a new message, select the target group to schedule the notification. Third, the last but not least would be the history study checking. Send notifications are achieved by the timestamp. Studies indicators showed whether the message was delivery, pending, or failed, which helped the admin to ensure the transparency and reliability. Together would be the course offering and notification UI, provide powerful tools for admin to manage course schedule and communication update more efficiency. Yeah, that's all for our presentation today. Thank you for listening. Feel free to ask any question.